Hi everybody! Hi every spirit, welcome very much to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the fact that Libra inconjuncts both Taurus and Pisces. Thank you for watching, leave a like and subscribe, and let's get started. So we have Libra, the external side of Venus, also not co-ruled, but Saturn is exalted in Libra as well, and Libra inconjuncts Taurus, and Libra also inconjuncts Pisces. And Taurus is ruled by Venus as well, and Venus is exalted in Pisces. So we have the fact that Libra is inconjuncting two signs that have heavy Venus influences. And Libra being exalted, or not Libra being exalted, but Libra being ruled by Venus itself, here has a message or carries a meaning about Libra's inconjuncting or misunderstanding, which is the general simplified meaning of the inconjunction. So Libras end up more times than often misunderstanding themselves or what they represent or what they want or what they need, depending on what alignment you have in Libra, right? So let's take a look at what this means from an astrological standpoint. So Libra, the external side of Venus, means cardinal air, means that in general Libra is about creating new ways to think, communicate, and analyze about relationships, pleasure, commitment, love, sophistication, beauty, and just the ability to be able to create new ways to communicate about things that you, the Libra, or things in your surroundings because of the air element. So just the ability to initiate communications, initiate conversations, or initiate new ideas about relatability and commitment and just exchanging things in general. Then we have Taurus, which is the feminine, the internal, the receiving side of Venus, right? Which is fixed earth. So it represents the ability to be fixed and consistent or stubborn and stuck in your own way to achieve and maintain stability, structure, pleasure, privacy, responsibility, and organization in a consistent way over a long period of time, or just being stubborn with how you and others in your perspective should have and maintain stability and structure. And then we have Pisces, where Venus is exalted, and Pisces is mutable water, the ability to be mutable and adaptive, or adaptable, I mean, with your own and others' ways of dealing or going about or being in general in an emotional space, dealing with sentiments as well, with feelings, I mean, dealing with imaginations, creativity, spirituality, belief systems, because it's also ruled by Jupiter. So it also means the ability to be mutable and adaptable with how you and others expand, travel, and gather and relate wisdom and knowledge when it comes to spirituality, emotions, relationships, love, and pleasure in general. But the fact that Venus is exalted in Pisces means that Pisces can go too far with that love, with that commitment, with that appreciation, or with just Pisces can be the perfect representation of what you love destroying you, or you destroying things that love you because of excess of connection, excess of faith, excess of belief, and straight up denying some reality or denying some limits and boundaries, right? But we are here in this video to focus on the Libra aspect, in conjuncting both Taurus and Pisces, which have very heavy Venus perspectives. So first let's see how Libras inconjunct their fellow Venusian sides, their cousins, sisters, and brothers from Venus as well. So they inconjunct Taurus because Libra is more about an external approach, an external communication, or a more public, broader, more out in the daylight communication and expression. And it's also about looking a certain way. Taurus also care about how they or their business or their products look and how others think about them, how others value, but it's in a more private way. It's more about one-on-one communication. It's about more a close circle, a close group of friends, of people, or investors in yourself, your space, and your values. So the key difference here is Taurus praising a bit more consistency. It's more about Taurus praising a bit more security and privacy, and Taurus are able to not really care about what others that they know, that those others don't know what's really going on behind closed doors. Taurus have the ability to perceive that others don't need to know everything, and sometimes Taurus prefer to be seen in a bad way to protect or not show what they know it's truly valuable or truly beautiful or truly profitable, right? So Libras coming to that approach, they might sacrifice their individuality, they might sacrifice their own value, they might sacrifice people that value them in order to achieve or create a vision, an image, a relation, a connection that looks balanced, that looks pleasurable, that looks pretty, that looks profitable, but it might not be. You know what I'm saying? And then the conjunction between Venus, between Libra, and Pisces comes from the fact that Pisces are more emotional, they look for more purpose, they look for a deeper connection, and also Pisces also go through that that process of looking or trying to connect with things that look and feel good, but Pisces sometimes they really prefer to look silly or to look like they don't have everything together. They might do more than you think because it's more of internal process and the more mutability. So Pisces respect the process. Pisces know and they feel, even sometimes at the subconscious level, and they can't explain it very well, but they know something is going on. They know the process is at work to achieve something really beautiful and really purposeful. And Libra sometimes they just want to get things started. They want to get things rolling, or they want to just get into a situation where things look good or things look balanced instead of really achieving the stability, structure, and consistency of Taurus. And they also skip the entire process that Pisces go through, sometimes through a long period of time where Pisces are transmuting, expanding, and traveling in the spiritual and emotional realm to reach a grander purpose in their lives or in their community. So that's the major keys of the misunderstanding between Libra and the fellow Venus energy recipients, right? So what does that mean if you have Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus in Libra? It means that you might be inconjuncting misunderstanding yourself or others that might be in a similar wavelength as you, but because you or somebody around you, or when you receive those inputs, you might be misunderstanding those things because you only see the face value, or most likely you are only going to see or care or wanting to show to others the face value, the starting of the process, the spark, the initiation. So you might be lacking or rejecting or just misunderstanding the structure of Taurus and the whole process, the whole magic of Pisces. So personally, it means you might even misunderstand yourself and the process of you as a librarian, quote unquote, you as a Libra most dominant person, right? A spirit riding a lot of Libra's spaceships, Libra's frequencies and vibrations. You might even misunderstand your own perspective about yourself and your business and your relationships, right? So that's what mostly brings the indecisiveness, the insecurity, and the you as a Libra, or having a lot of Libra alignments, you prefer sometimes subconsciously to take the short end of the stick just to be in a relationship, not even a good one or a balanced one, just to be a part of something, just to be involved with something that usually deals with communication, intelligence, information, what's trendy, what's people talking about, a bit gossip, but more personal and more limited than Geminis, right? And it all comes down to the process. It all comes down to not be so aware of the full spectrum of Venus, of that commitment, that relatability that goes back and forth, not just you being relatable and open, not just you looking pretty, or looking valuable, you actually being valuable, you actually being a beautiful spirit, not just a vehicle, not just a face, not just your speech, you really being beautiful, you really being doing some good work, because then the exaltation of Saturn can bring more balance, or can bring more reality, more consistency, can bring a bigger, more important process when Libras really decide to embrace it, when Libras really decide to be a bit more Aquarius, because Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, where you are able to sacrifice certain relations, you're able to sacrifice willingly, not like, oh, I'm suffering. No, you know that's worth it. You know what's coming for you if you keep that work, if you keep that consistency of Taurus, and the transmutation and the entire process and journey and travel of Pisces, because then you will be able willingly, and you will be actively looking to sacrifice or limit yourself when it comes to certain pleasures, certain relations, looking in a certain way to achieve something that is truthfully pleasurable, efficient, spiritual, and magical. So in broader ways, once Libras really start to understand their own value and the value of their most prominent ability, which is Venus, they will be able to sacrifice an image so they can focus on things that are behind closed doors, on things that concern and are responsible way more in their own terms without needing so much the external validation, external approval, or being seen in a certain way. AKA, when they understand more the Taurus side of Venus, they're able to focus more on their internal realm, in their own house, in their own privacy, in their own support, in their own profitability. And then when Libras really understand the value of Pisces, and when they are willing to look silly, or when they are willing to be a bit less about what's being talked about, when they are willing to take a step further, deeper into certain subjects, topics, or conversations, where they can actually start to be a good mediator, when they can start to open discussions and connections within themselves and others that can go as deep as Pisces, and then start to connect that with reality, the exaltation of Saturn. That's why Saturn is exalted in Libra, because Saturnians are learning how to take their whole process, their whole world, their whole structure, and make it more pretty, make it more relatable, making it more accessible, making it lighter without losing the essence, without losing its contents. So if you are a Libra and you are more insecure, more indecisive, or you need more external validation and company, it's because you are still, which is normal, but now you know better, you can do better, you are still developing or being aware or just accepting the other sides of your ruling planet, which is Venus, right? So as a Libra, the goal is not to stop being a Libra, quote unquote. The goal is not to stop being yourself, or not stop using your main power and energy. No, the goal is to complete it in certain times when it's needed, when the season is right. It's to complete it and bring other perspectives and other influences from a more personal, deep, and protected side of Venus, aka Taurus, and bring a more expansive, further, deeper perspective of the connection, the purpose, and the love that comes from Pisces and Venus being exalted in there. So now you know better how to do better, Libras over here. Keep initiating conversations, keep looking to look good and to look for beautiful things and pleasurable things outside, but always bring that extra commitment and that extra travel distance, so you can see more of the world and you can know and be aware more of the world, yourself and others, so you can initiate the best conversations, so you can initiate the best trends, and you can look and be the best possible. Thank you for watching, and I see you on the next one.